Mimi Walters live on Capitol Hill. Representative, thank you so much for being with us. We're mostly happy because everything's been happening behind closed doors. We haven't been able to see it. You have. So what's going on there? What are people saying? And more importantly, I suppose, what are they hearing?
Well, a lot of interesting dialogue is certainly happening behind closed doors. It's a very exciting time for us. We're about to elect a new speaker, and I am confident that Kevin McCarthy will be the next speaker.
You are supporting, obviously, Kevin McCarthy to be the next speaker, but how much support do you think he can lose and still be it?
I think Kevin will ultimately, at the end of the day, have unanimous support. This first vote that's going to take place today at 12 o'clock is the conference vote. And the conference vote, obviously, is the Republicans making our nominee. And I believe he will come out of that meeting with the support that he needs to have the votes on the floor on October 29th.
So Daniel Webster, who is running for speaker today, you heard from him, I understand, behind closed doors, and to our Dana Bash, he refused to commit to voting for Kevin McCarthy when the vote goes to the full House floor on October 29th. Refused to commit, so that indicates to me that there very well could be some defectors heading into the end of October.
Well, each person is going to have to make up their own mind. Obviously, that's a bit concerning that he would not commit. But remember, today is the vote, and the actual floor vote will be October 29th. And that will give him several weeks to hopefully come around and decide that he will support the nominee.
Now, you know, when John Boehner announced that he was going to be stepping aside and he's going to be resigning, he said this in part, one of the reasons why he was doing it, because he thought a prolonged leadership turmoil would do irreparable harm to the institution. Right now, you've got, some would describe, a little bit of chaos within the Republican caucus there as you work to decide who to back and who to support. You've also got as many as 40-some conservatives saying that they don't want it to be Kevin McCarthy. So how is that any better?
Well, I've known Kevin McCarthy for over a decade now. I served with him in the California State Assembly. He was actually my leader in the State Assembly. And Kevin McCarthy is very good at developing relationships. And I know that will have their support at the end of the day. He's been here for 8 years, and he's had a chance to develop relationships with many of those members of the Freedom Caucus. And I do believe that he will ultimately have their support.
You have 3 weeks to make it happen. Representative Mimi Walters, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.